We're tracking breaking news in Lexington tonight. Investigators say someone found a body on the roof of a building on UK's campus.
My first impulse was to run, to run away from this spot.
More than 2 months after a child was hit and killed by a school bus, his family's talking to us about how they're hoping his death will bring changes to bus safety.
And police need help tracking down burglars targeting veterinary clinics around central Kentucky.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Tonight we're learning more about a death investigation on the University of Kentucky's campus. Firefighters say someone found a person dead on the roof of a building.
And this all happened late this afternoon at a building on South Limestone. So far, investigators do not suspect foul play. Kristen Kennedy just received an update. She's live now with the breaking details. Kristen?
Sam, we just spoke with the University of Kentucky Police Chief Joe Monroe, and he tells us that he does now know the identity of the man whose body was found on a roof on one of UK's buildings. Earlier this afternoon, a woman was walking on a pathway between two of UK's buildings when she noticed that there was a man who was not responding lying on the roof. Now, that roof belongs to a dorm that houses graduate students. She called police called fire crews, and together they determined that man was unresponsive. They used a rope rescue system to get the body off the roof, and the Fayette County coroner, Gary Ginn, took the body back to his office. Ginn told us it's not clear how long the body was lying up there. There's still a lot of questions that his office is now trying to answer.
We are perplexed about who this gentleman is and why he was on the roof of the University of Kentucky, where he does not seem to be a part of the University of Kentucky as far as maintenance or any person like that.
The coroner is correct. That man, we're told, is not a student here at the University of Kentucky. Now, the police chief does say that that individual was subleasing one of the dorms inside this building from a UK graduate student. Live in Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Kristen, thank you. Well, she hopes that her tragic loss can be turned into something that helps save children's lives. Tonight, the grandmother of a Whitley County boy hit and killed by a school bus is talking only to WKYT.
Investigators say 10-year-old Jonathan Chatham died in March, moments after he stepped off his school bus near his home. His family now hopes his death will lead to changes in school bus safety. Miranda Combs has the exclusive in our top story at 6.
This is where he waited for the bus every morning.
There are markers, some traditional and steadfast.
My ex-husband came out here and covered up the black marks.
And some that will fade with time.
Very hard to deal with the first few weeks.
Each, though, is a reminder.
My first impulse was to run, to run away from this spot. I didn't think I could face it every day. And it actually, I think it has made us stronger. I really do. We're tougher than we thought.
Barbara McMahon is the grandmother of a tight-knit family that resides on this piece of property in Rockholds. At the end of her home's driveway is a bus stop.
And the horror of watching it happen, being unable to get across that road and stop it. That had to be a total nightmare for my son.
He was on the other side of this barbed wire fence when his children's bus rolled to a stop on a March Monday afternoon.
I mean, this poor boy literally watched his son die. He watched the light in his eyes go out.
10-year-old Jonathan Chatham was the last to step off the bus.
You have maybe 2 feet. It looks like the back of the bus is here and the edge of the road is right here.
So that's the amount of space he had to get off the bus.
Police say it appeared Jonathan cleared the bus, then somehow went into this ditch, then came back under the bus.
Well, I don't know if we'll ever know the exact answer.
But McMahon says that explanation doesn't fit with what her son witnessed. He told her something must have brushed Jonathan because he spun around and ended up under the bus.
He was laying on the road with his arms out. His binder was on this side, his jacket was on that side.
McMahon and her family have analyzed the tragedy.
He was already gone.
For more than 2 months now.
Very hard to deal with.
She says they don't blame the bus driver, but do question a driver's ability to see children at the bottom of the bus steps.
there's either not a mirror that sees there to notice that the kids are there, or perhaps there should be a camera monitoring that area.
She wants a better understanding of how this could have happened.
It should not have happened.
A tangible reason when there's little understanding of why it was Jonathan.
He was 10, but he could talk with you on subjects like he was 30. Very smart.
Jonathan had been in remission for leukemia since the fall of 2013. She says his body showed the aftermath of chemotherapy, but his mind never slowed down.
Massive amount of traffic today.
This road is frightening in and of itself.
Well, this is why I live way back off the road.
Yeah.
To keep my animals and kids safe. Well, I thought they were safe.
His cousins and siblings still meet here every school morning and again every afternoon.
I don't know how they're able to come down here to the bus stop every morning. How do you do that?
Faith and strength in the Lord, that the Lord is with you. We know Jonathan's in a better place.
The bus doesn't stop on this side of the road anymore. It waits and stops at McMahon's driveway. A respectful and safe change of course for a boy whose journey ended here.
And I've reached out to the Whitley County School Board multiple times to get an update on this investigation, but they have not returned my calls.
It's just heartbreaking. And police have said all along this is just a terrible tragedy. And Jonathan's grandmother, she agrees with that?
She agrees, and she readily admits she's never sat in a bus driver's seat to see what you can see at the bottom of the steps, but she hopes this will start a conversation and maybe something to look into the future, and we'll be looking into it as well.
It's so hard for her family to be there and see that cross and know what happened day after day.
Every single day.
Yeah. Thank you, Miranda. We have some new information tonight about a deadly accident at the Boone National Guard Center in Frankfort. Investigators say a civilian contractor died and another was badly injured when a snorkel boom overturned this morning. Within the last hour, the Franklin County coroner has identified that man killed as 23-year-old Brandon Cloud of Harlan County. Investigators say the contractors were installing siding on aircraft hangar at the time. The injured contractor was airlifted to UK Hospital. Investigators say he's in critical condition tonight. They're still trying to figure out exactly how the accident happened.
The hot and humid air has sparked some showers and storms across parts of the Bluegrass tonight. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yes, a couple of scattered showers and storms out there, especially across eastern Kentucky. You know, today's one of those seasonally hot and humid days out there, but we've had the winds that have been gusting up again as our saving grace. It's been that way for the past several days. We look outside at our WKYT weather garden. You see the trees that are kind of swaying around there with some of those winds that have been gusting up 15, 20 miles per hour at times. They're coming from the southwest, 88 degrees in Lexington, humidity 53%. Put those two together and you get a heat index of 92 degrees. Jennifer mentioned some scattered thunderstorms out there, and mainly now across eastern Kentucky. We had a couple of raindrops in Lexington, very intense thunderstorms, strong storm right on top of the West Liberty area into Morgan County. That is rolling toward the east. Here's what we're facing across the Lexington metro. Boy, not a lot that is out there. Don't expect a whole heck of a lot this evening. A lot of the shower and storm action is off to our west, but we're going to watch what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico. This is likely a developing tropical system that by the end of the week could influence the weather across the Bluegrass State. If you're out this evening, it's muggy. We drop from the upper 80s into the upper 70s. Guys, I'll come back in a little bit and we will focus on that tropical system and show you the track that may bring it into the Bluegrass State late this week.
Tonight, police are trying to find those responsible for a shooting that killed a Kentucky State University student.
Investigators say that 19-year-old Wally Clanton Jr. died over the weekend after being shot at a party near Atlanta. Police say shots were fired as a group of people were leaving. 5 people were hit, including Clanton. The others had non-life-threatening injuries. Clanton played football at KSU and was originally from Florida. Those who knew Clanton say he was a good person.
He always told me, Coach, I'm going to try my best, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to stay in shape, and I'm going to believe that I can do it. And that's the way he was. He was just high-spirited, and we're going to miss him.
Police have not named any suspects in the case so far. KSU says Clanton was an aspiring nursing student. Tonight, police have an alert for veterinarian offices around central Kentucky. Investigators say burglars are targeting them. In the last few weeks, some vet offices in Lexington and Richmond have reported break-ins, and police are trying to figure out if they're all connected. Kristen Kennedy tells us what's being stolen in pet protection. She's tracking the investigation tonight.
Up until last week, Dr. Frank Skipworth had never had thieves break into his veterinary clinic. But last Monday, he says 2 men used a crowbar to pry their way into the back of the building.
When they entered the building, it appeared they came straight to the front area. Stole all our prescription medications, antibiotics, anything that we use in the treatment of patients. And then they also stole all our heartworm preventative, flea and tick products.
Surveillance video shows the men were in and out in less than 10 minutes.
It looked like they just kind of got a trash can and just raked everything in there.
What they stole, Dr. Skipworth says, can be resold for a pretty sizable profit.
They're big ticket items in a very small package.
This break-in happened about a week after 2 in Lexington, where we're told thieves stole flea and tick medication and pets' prescriptions.
I feel like it's an organized group who has a way to get money for this product pretty quickly.
Richmond police aren't sure yet if the theft at Skipworth Veterinary Clinic is connected to the ones at Regency Animal Hospital or Noah's Ark Animal Hospital. Detectives are working together to see if connections can be made. In Richmond, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Lexington police are looking over surveillance video from the 2 burglaries here. So far, they have not made any arrests.
Today, Governor Steve Beshear signed a bill supporters say will protect Kentucky children riding in cars. The new law changes the requirement for booster seats. Starting June 24th, all children younger than 8 and 57 inches or shorter will have to be in a booster seat when they're riding in a car. The old law required booster seats for children shorter than 50 inches. Supporters say this new law brings Kentucky in line with 31 other states.
This has probably been about a 3 to 4 year process of trying to get the law improved, but it's been many years that we've worked with different legislators and to try to get a better law, the best law that's going to protect Kentucky kids.
The Kentucky Office of Highway Safety says using booster seats reduces the risk of injury by 60% when compared to just a seatbelt.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The University of Kentucky has created a new position for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender issues on campus.
UK has named Lance Poston director of the newly created LGBT office. He says he plans to educate, advocate, and build community relations about issues of sexual orientation.
What we really want to focus on primarily as an office is celebrating what it means to be a campus that is inclusive.
Poston says many universities around the country are creating offices similar to the one now at UK. He says he plans to talk to people in the LGBT community over the summer and find out exactly what their needs are.
New tonight, state leaders are apologizing to people who could not use their EBT cards over the weekend. The Cabinet for Health and Family Services says a hardware issue kept stores around the state from being able to process EBT cards from Saturday night until Sunday afternoon. Kentucky's EBT vendors say the problem has now been fixed and EBT cards are working statewide once again.